All right.
Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I am hanging out with Gathering the Magic, and uh, we are going to be talking about Splinterlands. We're going to be talking about card prices. We're going to be talking about land. What else did we mention that we were maybe going to get into today?
A little bit of Splinterforge.
That's right. Yeah, Splinterforge also. Um, the town hall I think is just wrapping up. Neither of us properly caught it, so there might be some things that we don't necessarily know about. Maybe even halfway through the conversation, maybe we open up that blog post if it's already up and we can see too. But in the meantime, I think we got our hands full with a lot of interesting topics. And I guess before we do any of that, I just want to say thanks for coming to hang out today. And how are you doing? And tell before we go any further, tell the people about your channel and what you cover.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Gathering the Magic. I cover a lot of Splinterlands, Splinterforge, and now the new hot game, Golem Overlord. So I covered that on my channel. Been a Splinterlands player since July of 2021. Have two accounts that I play. One is in silver, and the other account, which is actually my favorite, is a $10 account that I created. And the rules I have for that account is I have no help from outside accounts. I don't put any other money into the game and try to challenge myself to build the account up as best I can.
That's a great plan. I've talked to you about that and listened to you talk about that, and it seems like that's an important marker for being able to speak to people who don't have funds to throw at a game like this, so that you can actually speak into over a long time horizon. I'm confident that that's going to translate to profit, and to people are going to be like, one day you're going to surprise people with what that has garnered you, and
Hmm.
then they're going to say, oh man, like, can I do that too? And it'll be 4 years from now. So like, yeah, they probably can, but the opportunity is passing by people in some sense right now, because the risk is greater today than it will be in 3 4 years. If this game is still here in 3 or 4 years, then although there's a lot of stability, there's a lot of foundational growth, there's a lot of probably partnerships that make this more and more and more secure, and therefore opportunity that you're enjoying and gathering and benefiting from right now, or let's say risk you're benefiting from right now, is going to be opportunity as those months and years go by. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be an amazing little benchmark to follow over the months and years. What does it look? I know because of the soulbound rewards, there is no price point on those cards. Quote unquote, no price on those cards right now. I think one day there absolutely will be, and so I kind of reject that idea. But at the same time, how do you value your account at this moment? Is there a way you could speak into that $10 account today and kind of comment on, I don't know, SPS, or soulbound levels, or maybe we could. Do you mind if we look it up and we have a peek at like what are some of the
Yeah,
cards you've accrued?
yeah, go ahead. The account name is Gedphir, Gedphir. I know for SPS, I think I have at current prices a little over $13 in SPS, like 560 SPS.
Nice.
I spent a little bit of that on rentals, not a whole lot. Basically, my rental income now is coming from playing Splinterforge and converting Forge to DEC.
Mm. So we spent $10 on an account, and you've so far accrued $13 worth of SPS. Which, if you, I don't know, I actually don't know if we've spoken about SPS before, but I know you watch my content, so you're aware that I think one day we are going to see a dollar for that, for each token of SPS. So if you say $13 worth of SPS today at 2.5 pennies or whatever, if there's any, forget about a dollar, like if that, maybe that's a pipe dream, maybe I'm way off, but 20 cents,
20
10.
cents. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the multiplier, because this is what I say a lot on my channel. Like, it's the idea that you're accruing assets right now by enjoying the game. There's a time and attention investment, but then there's a trivial reward, this 2.5 cent SPS, and maybe you're only getting like one a day or two a day or 10 a day or something. It's not huge. It seems trivial, in fact. But then if there's ever a significant bump in the price of that token that you've been accruing for months and years, and you say $13 today, that means, like you said, 600 ish.
Yeah, I think I have like 560 somewhere in there.
So then, like, if it even makes it to 20 cents, and I think that's really pessimistic. I really believe that $1 is possible. But if it even makes it to 20 cents, you're talking,
Over
let's
$100.
and for a game,
Yeah.
so let's do 560 times point two. Yeah, $112 for a $12 cost, not to mention you've had enjoyment and fun throughout the process. And there's soulbound cards that you're going to be collecting and enjoying, and that I think one day will have a market value, assuming you're wanting to sell them and put the DC into them to make them transferable.
hmm
Yeah, that's really cool. And I can see you've got
It's
like,
been a fun journey. Like I said, the main thing that I love about Splinterlands is the challenge. And especially when you're on a limited budget, like when I made this account, they only give you 3,000 credits. I'm like, okay, what am I going to spend the credits on? Am I going to
mm,
buy a card? Am I going to use it for rentals? Basically, my strategy was use the credits for renting. And back when I started the account, we were still getting DEC and chess.
mm,
So I would build up the DEC that I would earn, and I
mm,
would use that to buy gold foil commons
cool,
because those would be max bronze and they would give me the 10% bonus. So I
cool,
do have a few gold cards that I own.
neat. I'm going to open my door because I hear my dog whimpering, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So most of the cards that you see on the screen are either cards that I bought, or there are a couple that have been delegated to me.
Okay. Yeah, like, this is the thing. I was just having a conversation with a good friend, Louis Nikisa, aka Oscu, and he's from the guild, and he has a very firm opinion that there can't be any entertainment or fun at the lower level without substantial cost investment. And I immediately, like, as I was listening to him talk, because he plays at a high level, he fights for leaderboards. Originally he kind of was regularly dominating the silver league, and he got to a place where he ultimately was crushing in even champion. And um and I think for him and his view, it's like you win the game or there isn't, that's the fun. You win the game or you don't. Um, and then, but the whole time I was listening to him, and this was just the other day, I was thinking about you and this exact account, because I know you talk about it so lovingly, really. Like, you enjoy this process. Is
It's a
that true?
blast.
Like, you're enjoying it?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Grinding for the bronze chest, trying to get, knowing I'm only going to get one card per chest. I'm not going to get multiples. Hoping I pull a summoner so I can get my summoners to level 2. Because basically all I need on this account is level 3 commons and level 2 rares,
Mm.
which isn't that hard to get in bronze accounts. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to get the epics and legendaries, but I don't feel they're necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to get those summoners to level 2 because then that's a major part of my rental cost.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't have to rent any summoners, basically everything I make from the game I can put back into buying new cards.
And we talked about this too briefly at one point recently. You're saying Rift Watchers is where you need to acquire a few that it really sets you apart. Like, a few key Rift Watcher rentals is going to really allow you to improve your win rate. That's what you're finding. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, you can see the rares that I recently purchased. What I did was one of the best card I got when they had reward cards that dropped was a gold foil Jin Chwala, which
Mm,
I sold a couple weeks ago. I think it was just around $12 when the gold prices were pumping.
mm.
I put that into a level 2 Kelia, and I had a little bit left over, so I bought the Tinderlock, the Corsair Boson, and my new favorite card, Queen of Crows.
Yeah, so
So they were
good.
all inexpensive and just a must-have if you're going to play in the lower leagues. They're just so powerful. Basically, all three of them should be epics or legendaries.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely. I often think that. I mean, these cards are, this one really strikes me as super important for the splinter that it serves on, and how it
Mhm.
partners so well with Grandmaster Wraith, and it's got amazing attack, amazing speed, amazing resiliency, and because of the reach, even more resiliency. And then the white team doesn't necessarily have a lot
And that
of,
reflection shield.
yeah. And the white team doesn't necessarily have a ton of secondary tank monsters like reach monsters. They do, but you're talking about some older wild ones, and then this one is so strong. I would say it competes among the best of the best reach from the white team. Might be literally the best. I can't think of a better one, to be honest. And that's like a rare card, and it's from the
Mhm.
latest set. And so when people talk about how old cards, this is a bit of a digression, but I feel like I'd love to hear your thought on it. I hear a lot of people say, you know, the cards are inflationary, and I understand what they're saying. They're saying we're always issuing new packs, and the new packs represent more card supply, which means that there's a distraction or there's many different lanes that a potential investor or player could spend their money. They don't have to buy a Sunkai Harvester. They could buy any number of Reach monsters. My point in calling them deflationary is that if you want a Sunkai Harvester, you have to understand that there will never be more of them. There's only a fixed amount, and in fact, that fixed amount is always shrinking. So they are deflationary in nature from that perspective. And I think the reason I bring it up in this context is because when you find exceptional cards like that, like those ones that you just spent some money on, the Corsair Boson, and how it might be, I want to pull up the Reach monsters from the white team. It might be the best one that there is, even from like neutral. Let's see Reach. Let's go like
Plus,
this.
with that Reach, you don't have to worry about Giant Killer because it won't be in the first slot. It'll be in the second position.
Exactly. That's right. That's part of the resiliency package, right? And then with Wraith and how it partners in the armor being Void Armor, it's like it's so optimized for the team it serves on and for the position it plays, and it actually has amazing damage output and relatively strong speed. Like it lacks nothing in my opinion at level 1. For like a bronze, it looks like it's just a crusher, and at the highest levels I love it like even more. The cleanse is amazing, the damage output just grows, the armor and health get bigger and bigger. It's a crazy card. And these are right now I'm looking at every Reach monster that can serve the white team, either white or neutral, like ever. And I'm saying, you know, I like the Junker with its repair, but I mean it doesn't have any of the resiliency. It doesn't have the armor. The shield warrior is slow, and it doesn't have anything, like it's so old school. It doesn't have any of the void armors or anything like that. Sunkai Harvester is kind of okay with the Oppress in certain conditions, but again, so few hit points, I would argue. Horny Toad, too weak, man. Blast damage wipes this thing out. Even though I like the 3 damage with the poison if in certain situations. Luminous Eagle, again, not enough hit points. Shatter can be pretty cool. Knockout can be pretty cool, but it's just a little too weak. So I don't see anything on this page that is better than this card. And the reason I bring that up is because Corsair Boson is fitting certain niche in a certain window. And I'm saying, but if you play in the alpha and betas, you know, this doesn't matter. And so trying to circle back to that conversation, I'm saying, are they inflationary? Are they deflationary? You know, there's such different use cases. And so it's going to get to a place where we don't all have the same cards, because we are going to, you're not going to be able to afford everything. As it is, you can't afford everything. And people think about that in some sense like it's frustrating. The people who love this game want to have all the cards they can. But the thing is, we're going to get to a place where you just can't have them all. And so you're going to have a unique kind of fingerprint, and then I'll have a different one. And when we play each other, we might have certain key cards that we share, but there will be a time, if this game sticks around for 5-10 years, where you don't have half of the cards I do, and I don't have half the cards John or Jim or Jane has. So any thoughts or comments on that there, Gathering?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm from a Magic the Gathering background, so I look at this and it reminds me so much of when I started playing back in Revised and Ice Age in the mid-90s, where the cards were everywhere and everybody was like, oh, these are so overprinted compared to Alpha and Beta, they're never going to be worth anything. And yes, it did take years and years, but now the cards are just incredibly expensive from where they were. And I see the exact same thing in Splinterlands. You know, we're a tiny community, the game is growing, we haven't exploded yet, but once we do, you're going to look back on cards like this and you're going to be like, what? They only printed how many million packs? Why didn't they print 10 times as much?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to want more cards, and they're just not going to be available at low prices.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will take, it's like a multifaceted conversation. Like, to get there, we're going to need a growth of player base. But to me, I think that's going to come. That's almost that's a conversation in and of itself. But, you know, I come to this game understanding it to be fun and having, like, I'm confident it will be here for the long future. And so then out of that, I see, and I think blockchain NFT rewards coming out of video game is like literally a revolutionary element within video games. And so I see Splinterlands as being uniquely positioned, plus uniquely enjoyable and ready for there to be a significant adoption, and therefore I believe that that part of the puzzle will come. Do you have any, I guess, qualms or nerves or like uncertainty or doubt around will we ever have, like right now I was looking at the player base, the number of games per day, it's like 50,000 accounts. Explorer, no, more. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Dashboard or something.
Thing is, when the game grows, it's going to explode. I don't think it's going to have one of those situations where we grow slowly.
Mm,
Like 500 players this day, 500 the next day.
no.
There's either going to be a major marketing push, or my thought is when draft mode goes live.
Mm-hmm.
I know Weirdbeard's pushing for that for tournaments, and you get the Magic the Gathering online community
Mm-hmm.
that sees that and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm already spending all this money in Magic the Gathering Online. I don't own the cards. If the game goes down, I lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I go play Splinterlands, which is basically the same game as Magic the Gathering? I own my assets. I can
Mm-hmm.
sell my assets. I have control over them. I think we're going to see a huge influx of players when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Right now we have about 70,000. 67 today, 67 yesterday, 60 the day before, 59, etc. So 50 to 70. And those are not necessarily players. Some of them might just be literally accounts that are moving cards across. It's active accounts. But I think we're in the like the core. We're back to, I think, a place where the core of the game are attending to this game. And those who were not 100% sold out aren't. Maybe they were here just for short-term rewards, and they were selling all of it. And maybe they have. I heard somebody recently say, with the bot conversation, are they gone? Are they leaving? Like maybe they've left and they're selling maybe many of them. I won't say all of them, but maybe many of them have already leaving right now. And that's part of why, because one of the topics we wanted to get into today. I'm skipping a little bit, but just card pricing. We talked about card prices of Chaos Legion, and we were noting that the cards within Chaos Legion packs are worth about $1.68 according to Splinter card data, and so $1.68 according to that, and that means that the on average the cards within one pack are going to be worth that value, and according to the non-card market, they're selling for roughly the same. $1.74 is what I saw a few minutes ago. $1.75 there. A little bit different on Hive Engine, but the point is, oh man,
Such great cards in Chaos Legion. I'm just amazed that I think when was it a couple months ago when the packs started pushing like 220, 230, 240. I'm like, oh, here we go. We're on the road to $3.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're under 2, I'm like, man, I got to grab them now before they spike up in a few months.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't have a lot of free assets right at this moment, but I've still got, I think, 700 or 750 Chaos Legion packs, and I am very, very loath to let them go. If anything, I would want to open them because I just like opening packs, but I'm even trying to resist that urge because I really think that there's a higher future for them. But there was a connection I wanted to draw there, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Card prices on Chaos Legion. Oh, the cards prices of Chaos Legion ticking down. I just wanted to generally get into that, and I wanted to speak about what do you see any factors? Do you see any like reasons for like what's going on? Is this because the bots are leaving? That was the connection I wanted to draw. The bots, like we talk about. We've seen certain sort of efforts that have already been made by the team, whether it's the 1 cent DEC, the 1 DEC list to rent. Maybe that's impacted the bots. Maybe that's impacted the amount of supply of cards on the marketplace. Maybe that's made it harder for bots to rent cards. Maybe that's part of already has been pushing them out the door. And then we've seen other things like, what else have we seen?
I think part of it might be to land. Everyone's getting ready for land, so they're selling some cards, selling some assets to pick up DEC for land. I know that's something that I need to work on
Yeah.
is picking up DEC. I'm not going to be selling any cards. My problem is going to be since I am a silver player, I don't have like max level cards. Mine are level 5 commons, level 4 rares. So I have to determine, okay, what cards am I actually going to place on land that I don't play with regularly?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm targeting probably is I'm going to pick up a lot of gold foil commons,
Mm,
either maxed out or close to it. Because I
yep.
think a max gold common gives you like 2,000 points.
Hmm.
So for me, that's pretty good return.
Pretty reasonable prices too on some of these cards. Lowest 33 cents for gold foil.
I
You
know
know,
people laughing at me months ago when I was buying gold vampire bats for 20 cents.
were you?
But
Nice. Vampire
yeah,
bat.
oh, I don't know why I just love that card, so I was just buying thousands of them.
Yeah, no, this is a good card. This is to me is like the modern day Cocatrice. The Cocatrice is that super fast flying with dodge. The Vampire Bat's got, you know, a good amount of hit points. It's got the fly, the dodge, and the flying. So that's a 50% evasiveness plus the 5 speed. Plus you can partner this in certain, you know, with certain swiftnesses or blinds or whatever. And good luck. Good luck hitting it unless you bring magic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, the I think you're right. I'm glad you brought up the land thing because these complicated conversations always have complicated answers. Like, why are card prices dipping? In part, it probably is because some bots are leaving. In part, it probably is because there's the one DEC cost on rentals, and maybe that's affecting the supply on the market and therefore making it less profitable for a bot to even play. Maybe it is because Chaos Legion packs. No, I don't think. I was going to say something else, but I don't. I already feel like it's not part of it. But there is a multifaceted explanation for why card prices are dipping, and I think you mentioned land, and I think that's an important one because we're already May 8th, and we talked about. I think they said June, the middle of June for 1.5 for land 1.5 to launch, and
Yeah, people are realizing that's coming up fast, and they need to get ready and get all their assets together. And I know probably most people have, you know, higher level decks. They have a lot of monsters, but they're trying to raise some funds to get all that DEC.
mhm. This is last week's post, and Weird Beard had mentioned land 1.5 mid June. So land 1.5 is the moment in time where we are going to be able to stake our monsters. Is that correct, Gathering? Do you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So then we're talking about 5 monsters per plot, and we know that there's millions and millions of BCX in this game, but we also understand that like you're not going to just want, like you pointed out, you're not going to want one level one. You don't want one BCX of a gold foil. You talked about a max level gold foil common because that's going to give you the most sort of profit or productive power out of it. And you didn't mention this, I don't think, or if you did, I didn't hear it. But there is a slight bonus when you consolidate to max. I don't know if everyone knows this, but when you look at one card, it has a certain, it used to have a certain collection power. I guess it still does. It has a certain collection power, and it's one for the Vampire Bat. It's 125 for one BCX. But then if you actually put 38 of them together, you get a bonus. Look at this 38 right here. It has 4,987. So if you went 38 times 125, let's go 38 BCX times 125 collection power. It should be 4750. That should be the collection power for that max level gold bat or vampire bat. But they give you a little bonus about 237 ish. I don't know if that's 5% or something. I think it's 5%.
Yeah, 5%.
So you're getting
But I
even.
don't know if that 5% will translate over to land. I know it does for collection power, but as
Mm,
far as like your production points for land, I think a max gold foil common is 2,000.
mm.
So it's going to be 2,000. It won't be 2,100.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad that you knew that because I didn't know that. But yeah, you are gonna, whether that, again, you just want the best card that you can afford. You don't want like some 1 penny card. You want whatever the best card you can afford is. And if you, presumably people who are playing this game seriously and who are interested in land, they don't have, you know, tens of thousands of plots. They have 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 plots. And then you don't have infinite cards or infinite alpha gold foil promos, legendaries. You have like a few good cards, and some of them, your best cards in some situations that are going to fit into those plots may be rares or commons, but you just are going to want to choose the best at the highest BCX level. So I think we're going to see more. It's not 750,000 BCX that are going to go into the land. It's 750,000 cards. And if you times that by the number of BCX, I call it 400 common regular foils, or call it, like, I think you just started, it's hard to track because some of the cards used will be common, some rare, some epic, some legendary, and some, so it's really hard to say how much pull it's going to do on that supply. But I think it's going to be substantial. And I think
You're going to
that's
have a wide range of production on plots depending on the player. Like I'm saying right now, there's going to be a lot of players on their plots where they don't have max monsters or anywhere near that. I think everyone assumes that, oh, I've got a plot of land. Even if I only have one plot, I'm going to have 5, max level monsters on it. A lot of people don't have max level cards, so I think one thing people need to keep in mind is there's going to be a lot of plots where you have maybe max silver or max gold level cards on plots that are going to have lower production than the people that are playing in Diamond and Champion and, have those
interesting.
level 8, 9, 10 cards.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that way. I think you're right, though. That makes a lot of sense. I would say also that there's one element of it that we haven't touched on, and they talked about a couple town halls ago. They said that during the Pretoria secret thing, that there may be infinite card soak. That was a phrase they used. And they were referring to, as I understood it, and maybe it was just theory at that moment. I don't know if this is like proper planned. I don't truly know. But from what I understood that to mean was you actually could put more and more cards than just 5, but that was not going to give you more productive power. It was just going to help you in that this chasing after the Pretoria secret. Do you recall anything about that gathering? And
Yeah,
can you speak to
I
that?
remember them talking about that. I don't know if that was just an idea that they were just kind of throwing out there or if it's set in stone. I don't think it's set in stone, but I do remember them saying that specifically, that there would be some sort of infinite monster staking.
The price of land is certainly ticked down. We're getting epics with a building in a box for 145, rares in the $60 range. I was buying some commons in that $60 range, but they had building in a box. Now it looks like the differential between common and rare is, in my mind, trivial. $48 for a common, 60 for a rare. Some of these, look at Kush is selling some with building in a box in there. I would argue right there,
I mean,
that's
if you
it.
think about it, really the 10% difference would be kind of like if you just had a common and you threw a 10% totem on it.
Mm-hmm.
How much is a totem going to cost you as opposed to the difference between a common price and a rare price?
Yeah,
So if a common is 50 and a rare is 62, okay, I would rather do that, spend the extra $12 than buy a $20 common totem.
yeah, exactly. The common totems are about 22 or 20 or something like that. So yeah, look at that, $20. So you're right. I mean, you spend $20 on a totem, and then you suddenly you're paying more for your common to get the same productive capacity out of that out of the common plot, as opposed to just buying out of the common plot as opposed to buying the rare plot.
And one thing that they had mentioned a while ago, and I don't know if this is set in stone either, is they mentioned that totems would have a very specific bonus.
Mm,
Like a totem is not just going to be, a flat 10% production bonus. It might be 10% reduced repair time for a building,
mm,
10% granary production. So if you don't have a granary, it's going to do nothing for you. So
mm.
that's one of the reasons I hadn't bought any totems, is because I wanted to make sure that I know specifically what they're going to be used for before I buy them.
Yeah, I
Because
didn't
I don't
know
want to
that.
buy a totem and have it be 10% wood bonus and I have a mountain.
Yeah,
It won't do me any good.
that's I didn't know that. That makes perfect sense. Like totems should have almost like a particular unique benefit, and sometimes though that would make them like more of an NFT, like in the sense of I would say even like not just an NFT, but a instead of a commodity where all totems are the same, like a blanket 10% benefit, it would make it where they're not the same across. Like some are going to be more valuable than others. That's interesting. Look at
Yeah,
this
because
though.
they could have a common totem that gives you like a 10% chance of getting a higher rarity when you make an item or spell.
Mm-hmm.
Those are going to be in demand if they come out with those.
Mm-hmm. 2,200 US for a keep. That's pretty interesting.
That's really come down. Last time I looked, it was like 2,700.
I'm sure. Always gets to a place. There's some people who just desire the money more than they desire the asset, and life happens. And I'm doing a renovation. I just sold my Lux Vega, my last Lux Vega. I don't have her anymore, and that's gone to paying for part of a significant renovation of my house. Like if this happens, and maybe I don't know, Rush, Bush, and Tush. I don't know him or her, but maybe there's some story there, because it's a lot cheaper than Niche Vice or whatever here.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to. You have a plot. You wanted to look at opening up, eh? Do you want to do that right now, or what do you think?
Yeah. I have a plot. Let me go to the screen. I have my sounds muted, but for some reason when I went to the page to survey, it sounded like I was getting some background noise or background music, so I wanted to make sure that I went off of that page. I didn't want it to be distracting, but let me go to that real quick. Okay, so I have that pulled up.
And when you go back to Discord for a beat and
Yep.
and share your screen so I can follow along. Ah, I can see it. Okay, now.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear
So
with me.
there's my plot.
Okay.
So it's track 2, plot number 1. So we'll go ahead and survey. So I do have the DECB. I'm going to do the building in the box and the time vault.
Cool. Tell me why you don't want the unstable totem.
To me, it just wasn't worth it.
Okay.
You know, definitely the building in the box. I might actually save the building in the box for later when we can build other buildings other than granaries, because it sounds like in 1.5 the only thing we'll be able to produce is grain. So I don't want to use the building in the box for that. I would rather use it for a special building, especially if it's going to take like magical resources to build it.
Yep.
I'm going to save that building in the box, and the time vault is just, I think, 100% you need to have it just to reduce the time for clearing and all that. So
yeah, I think time vault is a total. Yeah, time vault ended up being the one you like almost can't say no to in my mind.
Yep. Okay, so this is the last of my DECB, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm.
Okay.
I won't have a card to flip, so it's just going to be, it's going to show me what I get.
Cool.
So, like I said, I was hoping to get in the same track as Bronze Dragon. He managed to get the first plot in track 1, and this is the first plot in track number 2.
Come on, legendary.
There we go. Okay, so we got a mountain, but just a common. But I'm excited to have a mountain because I think from what was leaked on Peak Monsters, mountains, and I believe it was calderas, are going to be the only 2 lands that produce ore.
Oh.
And there is going to be a lot of different ore that is needed for specific mountains. So,
cool.
Yep, happy with that. That will be my last plot of land.
Really cool.
7 now.
It's beautiful. I love the mountains. I don't think I have any mountains on any of mine. I like that one. It would have been wild to see this be a keep or something. Hey, that would have been.
Oh, I know.
There would have been some screaming involved, guys.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
So tell me about what the plan is. Like, what will you do with this now? Like, what's the vision for? Like, what's the vision for you now?
Well, with this plot, with it being a mountain, if ore is as rare as I think it's going to be, it's definitely going to be producing ore and selling it in this track, in this region, just for income. What I might also do, depending on how they work storage, is this might be a storage building. Because what I'm thinking is there's going to be so many people that are going to be producing, not very many people are going to want to waste a plot just to store resources. So a good kind of like passive income for me would be to just build storage buildings on plots that are scattered around. Like most of my plots are in Land of Prosperity in that territory, 43, 46, and 48, and I think I have 1 plot in 51.
Yep.
So at least those are in the same territory. With this being a completely different territory, this will probably just be a storage building.
Gotcha. I'm down in 44 and 48 as like 2 of my main holdings. Well, 44 not really. I have 2 in 44. I have 6 in 48. I have 11 in 99, which is a totally different space, but they are across 2 different tracks. Actually, that might be my biggest sort of holding. 11 in Gorendale in 99, 4 and 6. But then I also have 3 in Jumanji. So that's like a total of 14 in that same whatever. Let's see what I actually don't know what world or whatever that is. I wish I could click on. I'm looking at the map now. did I reshare my stream?
That's probably still mine. I went back to my plots,
Okay.
so you can see the different regions that I'm in.
Mm,
I'm in 43, 46, 48, 51. 110, that's another one that's just kind of a random plot, will probably be storage, and now Ravenwood. So I have 2 plots in 43.
mm,
My wife also has one, so we're going to
nice.
work together in 43.
Nice. What how many plots do you have total?
7.
Nice. I have 23, but I'm not convinced that I'll keep them all. I think right now, obviously the price is not in a place where I would want to sell a common plot or whatever, but I am definitely, I fully expect this to be significantly more expensive. I think one day we're going to be like, what? $48 for a common? That's crazy. I
It'll be
really
10
think that.
times that.
Yeah. Like, I think when this, if this, okay, this could change rank battle forever. And if it does, it might be necessary that you have access to those potions and those spells and those items. And if you don't, either through your own land ownership, which of course people are going to want, so the ownership is going to be so valuable if that's truly the impact on the rank battle, because rank battle has all sorts of profitability questions, right? Like, how much do you get from your rank battle rewards in terms of SPS? How much do you get from your dailies and your season chests? What SPS considerations are there in there? One day soulbound cards are going to have a value. So again, what is the cost versus loss, like the output versus input of not having items and spells that come out of land, and then how does that translate to people desiring more and more of this very rare asset?
As this game grows, everyone's going to want at least one plot at land at some
Mm-hmm.
point in the future, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not going to be that many available that are for sale,
Mm-hmm.
especially unsurveyed plots. That was one thing I was almost thinking of getting, is just 1 or 2 unsurveyed plots and just
Mm-hmm.
hanging on to them for a year or two and just seeing what the price does.
I thought the same thing actually, but I can't. I'm too weak-willed. I'll definitely survey, and I'll get to a place where I'm like, oh, there might be a keep there, and I got to try.
Yeah.
But it would be, I think, an
Yep.
unsurveyed.
It's just too tempting.
Yeah, an unsurveyed plot though is attractive in the sense of it could be anything, and that is a sales pitch. Like that, there's a reason why. Like, go back to I'm on the market. I want to look at the other items. Like, plots are currently selling for $188, and there's only 16 of them. So look, if you want 188, 188, 190, 190, 199. So there's really only under $200. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Under $200, there's only 8 plots on non-card market. And then I guess there might be some on Hive Engine, but we're not talking hundreds of plots. We're talking maybe a dozen or something like that. And so under $200, why is it so much more than the common plot that we just looked at on the high, the $50 or whatever? Because you might draw a $2,000 keep, or something absolutely nuts like an occupied. Well, what's the absolute most expensive one, you think? Let's find out.
Legendary occupied is what should be the most expensive. I'm really surprised those aren't worth more than keeps. I think eventually they're going to flip price. You're going to see
Wow.
legendary occupied be higher than keeps. They may be already.
They
I
are,
should
yeah.
check that
A
out.
legendary occupied, the lowest one available right now, with nothing, with no buildings, no totems, etc. 22,000 US dollars.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, there's only 52 in the game, I think.
That's a river. Um, I don't Cryptomancer is selling 3 of these, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I think he's got 4 of them.
that's wild. So Cryptomancer, the main dev, right? He's the Splinterlands main dev. Well, I don't know if he's main dev. He's part of that the team, anyways. 30,000, 40,000, and then there's Japoni or Japon. I'm not trying to say it. He's been around forever. Building in a box, unstable totem, which is probably pretty cool on a legendary occupied plot. And then he's got it listed at 1.89 million.
Jeez. Oh
Dude,
yeah, I see that.
this like, I mean, I don't put it outside of the realm of possibility that land could get into a place where these are moving. Like maybe not the 1.8 millions, 22,000. I don't know. I don't know, but I do know I'm excited by it, and I think when people see it actually in work practice, and if we can count on the team doing what they've always done, which is, striving to execute on what they planned and what they aimed at, and improving it and growing it, which I have confidence on that path or whatever, then I think it leads to a place where you're just like optimistic about, earlier talked to SBS, talked about card prices, talked about land. Generally, very optimistic because I just see I see this team as aiming at good places, and I've seen them be, I guess, be faithful to those plans, if you know what I mean. Oh, we haven't talked about Splinterforge, and I got to
Oh
go
yeah,
kind of soonish. Let's do some Splinterforge stuff.
yeah.
What
The
do you?
forgotten game that no one plays anymore.
I am not playing it, but I am into it and I want to play it. But the problem is I don't want to mess around
Just
with
love
like,
it for my
what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say I love playing it just because for my free-to-play account, this is my main source of income. Is I'll
Mm,
do my battles, get my for the DEC for renting or buying cards. So
mm,
anyone out there that has a free-to-play account or you are on a very limited budget, it doesn't cost you anything to play Splinterforge. You can sign up. It uses your existing cards in Splinterlands,
mm.
and there are cards you can rent extremely cheap for 1 or 2 DEC, and you can earn 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Forge in a week and start building your deck basically for free.
Mm. I haven't. Let's see. I've got 102 Forgium. I think that the Forgium is what you earn through play, correct?
Yep, through play and after the boss dies, if you're on the leaderboard, you'll
Yeah.
get leaderboard rewards.
I am like my hero is just too weak, so when I end up playing this game, I end up being like just smacked, and I end up it's like discouraging. Like I would love it if I could throw a little money at it and make a strong hero. Um, but I also feel like I've been more like Golem Overlord is more grabbing my attention, but I could probably take a couple $100 and throw it at Splinterforge because I do think this is cool. I really do.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you won't need anywhere near that to build up a good level character on Splinterforge. If you use Splex, you can go on Splex, and they do have a marketplace for Splinterforge,
mhm.
and you can pick up your gear there pretty cheap. That way, you don't have to go through the randomness of opening crates and leveling up items. You can specifically target the item you want.
Cool.
So what I would suggest if you're getting into Splinterforge is go to the marketplace,
Yep.
go to rares, and go to gold foils, and pick up one of each of the 4 pieces of armor, because that's going to give you an 8% forge bonus,
Hmm.
be used by every hero. And then as you want to, you can pick up the weapon and the offhand in gold foil.
Okay, that sounds great. And it looks like they're relatively inexpensive too. We're talking like 13 cents. Hang on, is that
Yeah.
right?
Let's take a look.
Standard
So
wand.
gold foil. You want the standard, but you also want the gold foil. So the cheapest I see right now, a standard sword gold foil is 85 cents.
Okay, gold foil. My own rare. Oh, I see. I was looking at. I think maybe I'm misunderstanding the marketplace a little. I think I'm clicking on
Yeah.
Epic.
So on the right, where it says foil, and there's 2 icons. If you click on the left icon, it'll kind of gray it out. That will only show the gold foil.
Oh,
And the
see,
name, yeah,
gotcha.
it's
I thought I
it's kind
was
of counterintuitive.
I thought I was selecting gold foil, but I was like graying it out. I was deselecting. So now I'm looking at gold foils, and I'm looking at. So I'm deselecting. Hang on. Are these legendaries that I'm looking at, or no, like what? How can you see
Um,
the? No, that's a
on
blue
the
rare, right?
Yeah, if you look on rarity, if it's blue, yep, that will be the rare. And blue rares are the lowest gold foil you can get. There are no gold foil commons. So these are pretty cheap. Like I said, they will give you the 8% bonus for each piece
Mm-hmm.
for forge per battle. That does not work for the leaderboard, but it
Mm-hmm.
does work for each individual battle. And it does add up. For me, instead of getting 12 and a half forge per battle, for the bronze boss, I get about 15 and a half.
Mm.
So I'm getting 3 extra forge per battle. So
Cool. What about going a little further and getting into the epics or something like this?
epics will give you a 12% bonus. Um, your bonus per piece, instead of being +1, will be +2. So that's, a bit of an added bonus. You can see the prices are a little bit higher. So you're going from $3 up to about just under $6 for the boots.
Hmm.
The boots are most in demand for the speed. Speed is basically the main stat in Splinterforge. The
Yep.
faster you are, the more often you attack.
Hmm.
That's why that's the most expensive. Kind of surprised to see Quiver as the third cheapest since that's speed. So Quiver might be a good pickup if you're looking to get into Splinterforge. And then of course the legendaries start at $15 and then go on up to, well, listed 134 for the boots
Hmm.
for one
And
BCX.
what's
So
the
so for
what?
me being on a budget, I just stick with the rares.
What's the bonus look like on the legendaries here?
16% per piece.
And then is it three? I think you said there's two on the epic. Like, is it
Um, so the epic will be a 12% bonus, rare is 8, and legendary is 16.
an 8% bonus on like on the
Each.
amount of the amount of Forgium you're claiming? Is that what
Yes.
I'm saying? What you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
but is there any bonus to like the damage output on the battle itself for any of these things? Like, is there any like are the boots making my characters faster in the game? Is that how that works?
Um, so between gold foil and regular foil, there won't be a difference as far as damage goes.
Okay.
Your stats will be the same whether it's an epic gold or an epic regular.
Okay.
The only additional bonus is that extra forgium.
Okay. And so then, but I assume though. So you're saying epic gold or epic regular is giving me the same
Same
Forgium
stat.
bonus, the same Forgium bonus, but or sorry, give me the same in-game stat, but a different. The gold foil is giving you a better Forgium return, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I follow you now. But
Yep.
but then there must also be at like common, rare, epic, and legendary. I assume like an elite sword, legendary is going to do more damage. Yeah, like 3, 5, 6, and 8 bonus. That's must be 8 attack bonus for a legendary, 6 attack bonus. Is that correct? 6 for an epic, 5 for a rare, 3 for a. Is that how that works?
Yep. And of course they level up too. So if you look at just like a common sword,
Okay.
or the first piece, let's just go back to common. So if you look at like a common weapon, like a sword, it'll say 1, 2, 3, 5. So that's as you level it up. So at level 1, it does +1 damage. If you level it to 2, it does 2, then 3, then 5. So the most you can get for a worn sword,
Gotcha.
if you level it up to 4, is +5 damage. Now to
Gotcha.
level it up to 4, I believe takes, I think it's 120 of those swords to get to level 4.
Mm.
So it's a big investment. Whereas legendaries, I think it's the same as Splinterlands, where it takes 11 to get to a max legendary.
Let's see this again.
I'm
One.
just going to my legendaries so I can double check that.
Okay, so 3, 5. The legendary. I'm looking at legendaries on my window. Quiver.
Okay, so I have an elite bow, which is a legendary bow.
Yeah.
It does 3 range damage at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2, it does 5 damage, but I need 3 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Level 3 is 6 cards, level 4 is 11 cards. So that sounds to me the same as Splinterlands for
It is, yeah.
legendary.
So you'd need. I'm looking at the lead agile quiver, and I would need to buy. And the price low gold. I'm looking at. This is low price, $5.49. Sorry, low price per BCX, $4.33. So it looks like they're on within this market. Let me see the list. Oh, okay. That didn't pull up what I wanted, what I expected to do. I want to be like, I imagine there's somebody who's selling an elite quiver with 1 BCX, and then there's somebody who's selling it with 11 BCX, and or something like that, and that would affect the price just like it would on Splinterlands. Looks like there's a $4.33 for the low BCX and a $5.49 for like essentially one BCX. I think maybe does that
Okay.
does that make like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And is there a
Which
way that I
specific
can
item are you
see?
looking at?
I want to see all the agile, elite agile quivers, like not just the name. I want to look. I want to open the market and see like there's,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because some of them might be level 2 and some of them might be level 3. Is that possible?
Yes. So let me see. Are you looking at the regular? Oh, okay. So if you click on the buy tab, it'll open up the entire list of everything that's available to buy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I see the first one, and some of them will have sockets. Like legendaries automatically come with one sockets. You can see underneath some of the listings have two sockets.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one that the player has added to the item. It won't
Mm.
normally come with that. And then yeah, I also see on the side some people are selling single BCX, three BCX.
Yeah. This
Yep.
one's interesting with 3 BCX, meaning level 2, $4.33, which is a lot cheaper than like the counterparts. This is the quiver. So this is the speed. No, this is an archery damage output multiplier.
Speed dam or speed.
Okay, and it's a legendary. Now, it's regular foil though, isn't it? It's not gold foil.
Yep. Yep, it's regular foil.
Interesting. I mean, $13 doesn't sound. But here's the problem: I don't have any forge, and I know I could switch some of my DEC for forge. I was hoping that this might be able to close these deals with just DEC. You can't do that, hey?
No, I think the only thing you can purchase on Splinterforge with DEC are crates.
Okay.
So if you go to the shop, you can buy crates with DEC or Forgium. I think everything else has to be the Forge token.
Okay. I am super interested, and I would like to like. What are you said you're making like 12 forgium per battle? Is that what you said?
15, and that's in
15.
bronze. So with your cards in your deck, once you get your hero leveled up, you're probably going to be playing the gold or the diamond boss.
Yeah.
So you'll be earning a lot more than I am.
See, I mean, it's really tempting. I mean, and for what are forgium going for right now?
Amazingly, I think it's down to like 19 cents per thousand.
19 cents per thousand. See that? So, hmm, interesting, man. But the problem is, yeah, like really interesting. Um,
And they want Forgium to be on peg with DEC. They want it to be a dollar per thousand. And a couple months ago, it was pretty close when DEC was around 80 per thousand. I think Forgium was like 75 or 73.
mhm.
But with not a lot of Forgium burning mechanics and the supply inflating so much, that's why the price has gone down to 19 cents per thousand. But one thing that I had mentioned to you is they just talked about in the Discord upcoming Forgium staking for the
Mhm.
game. So that may drive the price of Forgium up a bit once players start accumulating Forge and staking it, not dumping it on the market.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. And it seems like I enjoy the game. I'm feeling right now like I don't have enough time to play Splinterlands the way I want, but still like I hate this game is genuinely fun to me, and I hate letting it just go by the wayside because I'm strapped for time. It actually
Hmm.
seems like it's entertaining. It looks like a real opportunity in my mind because I think it's cool, and therefore I think others will think it's cool. And it's going to get more and more refined, um, and it's a unique experience, and it's another use for my cards. So all of that is just like an
Hmm.
amazing thing.
Yeah, it's very basic right now. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's boring. You just go in, you spam the same team and all that. And yeah, that's true to some extent, but you have to realize this game is basically in its alpha or beta mode, and there's a lot of updates that they're working on and coming out with that they just haven't come out with yet.
Hmm.
Like experience points for your hero, which will level your hero, which will increase your stats. And it sounds like your hero eventually is going to be able to get skills.
Mm.
So kind of like summoner skills, it's sounding like. So, and they also talked about an adventure mode, which I don't know if that's going to be like a dungeon mode, but sounds like they have a lot of things they're working on. So if you're looking to get into it more, now is probably the time with Forge being so cheap.
Is there a benefit between melee versus archery versus magic?
Just depending on what the boss has for their skills. Sometimes
Mm.
the boss will have retaliate, so you don't want to do melee damage. Sometimes the boss will have magic reflect. Usually the one that's played the most is archery. Usually people play ranger because of the speed. You're getting speed from your boots and you're getting speed from your bow. So archers can usually attack a lot more than the other two classes.
Mm. archery usually does more damage. Like archer characters usually have like one more damage output than a magic monster of similar mana, similar rarity.
It'll be the same, but they'll attack faster, so they'll get more attacks in.
Okay. Um, in my, I might be wrong about this, but I just feel like I've never like sat down and like checked it. But like if you like, let's quickly look at something. Let's look at legendary, untamed, magic, regular. Okay, so these are untamed. Now, 2 damage, 3 damage. I'm looking at the highest levels for each of these. 4 damage, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. So this is a 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. One of these is a blast, so call it maybe 3, 3, 4, 4, 4 ish. But then if you go to archery, again, legendaries, and let's see. Well, this guy's a total anomaly. That's not really fair. Um, this guy's only a 1. Okay. This guy's a 4. So I mean, maybe in my head I've always thought you might see like for the same mana cost you might see like a 5 archery output versus like a 4 magic output. But maybe I'm not wrong about, or maybe I'm wrong about that. I've never researched it. I just had a feeling that that was like the case. Cool, man. I'm gonna seriously consider maybe taking like 10, $20, but even more, like $100. Like I could see myself going. Where's that market now? I could see myself going in and going just snagging some things. But what I'm hearing really is that speed, speed, speed. So if I was gonna splurge a little, it'd be on anything that's gonna give me my speed modifiers. Um,
Yeah. And boots are the highest in demand because you can put your boots on all 3 characters.
mm,
So it's not like you have to have 3 different sets of armor pieces for your 3 heroes. So your leggings, your boots, your gauntlets, and your hauberk, your chest piece, can be used by all your characters.
so uh, I only have to mind you when you say all my characters, you mean like all my heroes?
Yeah, all your heroes, all
Okay,
3.
interesting. Yeah, man, that's really cool. Thank you for walking me through some of that stuff. I think I might see if I can't set aside. Like I'm going pretty deep into Golem Overlord right now. Like I'm really
Yep.
grinding up, trying to get my level high, burning a good amount for the reputation. I'm producing about 21 every 8 hours, or like my claim time is 7.92 hours. I'm eager to see. I'm eager to make the move over to the 12-hour claim with the bonus, just so I have less moments to claim. But what are you doing with this? Are you putting money in this, or are you just letting this be whatever basic you can get out of it?
Um, I'm just putting in whenever I get a referral and get that 2 swap hive, I'm just reinvesting it. Other than that, I'm just playing the game. I haven't put any money into it other than getting the staff. I think
Mm.
the staff was 20 swap hive when they started.
Yep.
So I've gotten that back and a lot more. And what I'm trying to work on now is how to do my build to claim every 12 hours. Because I'm not level 30, so I can't get that 12-hour claim window.
Hmm.
And just with work, I'm not able to claim 3 times a day. So
Yep.
I'm trying to not be a target where people are going to want to attack me, have a
Yep.
high enough fortification. But basically now what I'm doing is I'm reinvesting almost all my part into reputation to level up because I want to get that prestige levels going.
Hmm. So then you get the prestige, which then you'll be able to change your modifier. Is that what you're saying, or how do you
Well,
change?
if you go on Golem Overlord and look at your level, like right now mine's level 7 of 10, and that icon on the right of your XP,
Yep.
you click on that, it'll show you after Ascension. Once you ascend, it looks like to level 2 Ascension or 2 Prestige, it doubles your stash.
Mm.
Your maximum stash is now 100. Once you Prestige 3, it looks like you get 10% rep conversion, so that'll probably help you level even faster.
Wow.
And after that, this has a claim multiplier.
I'm gonna burn some
So,
more. You've convinced me.
yep.
25 more part. Throw it in the furnace.
hmm And the nice thing is you get that XP every hour. You don't have to physically be on the game. It just automatically accrues. So while
Yeah.
I'm at work, I'm gaining, right now I'm gaining zero point 0.7 XP every hour.
I,
When I get home tonight and get my claim, I'll throw another 16 part, it looks like, throw that on reputation and get to level 10 as quick as I can.
yeah. I'm at level 6 of 10. I have no, obviously I have no prestige. I am at I'm burning. I have 48.4 reputation with 1.1 XP per hour right now, and I'm every day I'm playing this, and I'm
Hmm.
burning and adding and strengthening, and I'm finding that one thing I've learned recently is that at first I was thinking, oh, you just want power and faith, like because I'm gonna attack people, I'm gonna steal at the end, and I'll claim. It really was not a successful. I'm finding out I need a more holistic build because one, my attacks never extract enough to fill my bank, or sorry, my stash, and then also even if it therefore I need to have some amount of scavenger golems working in order to accrue some of my own earnings so that I can then claim my maximum amount each time. But then if I have scavenger golems working, I need to have protection or fortification with which to secure those resources. So I'm finding you really do need, I mean, you could almost say maybe you don't need power, and maybe you just chill and you just do the fortification and golems. But I think you can't. I don't really. At least I haven't seen success in just focusing on power and faith. But it seems like I could imagine there being success on scavenge and fortification as a sole approach. Like defense seems almost easier and maybe better and probably cheaper to win with than doing an offense. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Basically, what I've been doing is more of a balance build. So I haven't been going strictly offense or defense. I'm trying to level up the stats kind of at cost. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever is the cheapest, I'll kind of level up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to not make myself too good of a target. Right now, I've got power of 7, which is decent for attack. I'm getting +1 because of my level. My fortification is 9 +1, so decent fortification. My charging station, I got up to 6. My faith is 11 +1, so I'm pretty balanced. And usually what happens is my scavenger golems are just high enough where when I'm ready to claim, I have not fully filled my stash,
Mm-hmm.
but I will be able to do 3 or 4 battles, and I usually fight people that are quite a level below me,
Yeah.
maybe a negative 25%, so I'm pretty much guaranteed to win, and that extra half a part, 0.75 part, will fill my stash, and then I claim.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a little
Yep.
bit of attacking, not a lot. Decent defense, not super high in fortification. And like I said, basically what I'm putting most of my part into is reputation for leveling, because I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be key. The other thing that's going to be key, I think, is faith, because they've talked about releasing NFTs in the game, and that's going to be based on your faith level. So I'm thinking you're going to be able to burn shards for crates. The
Yeah.
crates are going to have NFTs, and depending on your faith level, will kind of determine what you get from your crates.
Cool.
So,
My faith. I'm at power 10 plus 1, 11, I guess. I'm at fortification 11 plus 1, faith 10 plus 1. And I think we're doing a similar method. Jim Morgan has kind of walked me through some of his play, and it's very much like defensive first. I don't think he's put anything into power, or at least he hadn't a few days ago when I last spoke about it. I'm inclined to say if somebody was listening, what I'm seeing at least for now is that you could build a protection focus, like a fortification scavenger focus. That's like a defense first might be the sort of better approach. Yes, you need charge golems. Yes, you need fortification. Yes, you need scavengers. But I need all those things too, and then I also need power and faith so that I can attack others to really fill up the coffers right before I claim.
yep.
Yep, interesting. Okay, pal. I
Yeah,
better let.
I like the way they've changed it from the algorithm to the scavenger golems, because the scavenger golems erode over time, so you're going to have to keep putting part into them to keep them at the level you want or build them up. So that's a
Mhm.
very good use of a sink for part. So I
Agreed.
think he's done a really good job designing the game for burning mechanisms. And because Matt is in the game, I'm wondering if he's taking notes and going to apply some burning mechanisms to Splinterlands.
Hmm. The scavenger golem. What was the old algorithm? Because I was only here for like a day before this changed. What was the old thing?
I'm trying to remember what algorithm did. Oh, algorithm. It was algorithm and Golem charging station determined how fast you accumulate your part every 3 seconds.
Mm,
So the higher your algorithm and higher your Golem charging station, the more part that you were producing every 3 seconds. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm into it, man. I'm super into it. And yeah, the part has fallen dramatically. Where's that part now?
Probably like 20-ish cents.
You
Somewhere
know,
in there, maybe lower.
first of all, I'm having fun playing it. 17 cents. I'm having fun playing it. Second of all, the token is free. Like well, it's not free. I put money in to build my account or whatever. But like, you know, I use that money. I think of that money as I spent it to have fun, and I am having fun with this thing. And now, it is producing X amount of part a day at like a 20 time. I'm getting probably 21 part a day per claim times 360. And I think I could ramp that up really quickly. Like if I just dump more into my bank, I could do more attacks. Or I could build more scavenger golems right now, and a little more into bank. But like you said, reputation, I want to focus there and not be too juicy at this moment. Yeah, man, 17 times 60 is not nothing every single day.
Oh, that's a couple Rift Watcher packs you could pull out if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, Gathering, I better let you go, pal. Anything you want to shout out or say before we go?
No, just one of the main things is just I keep talking about Splinterforge. I just feel like it's just forgotten part of Splinterlands. People think of it as a separate game. I think of it as, you know, just a branch of Splinterlands. And just for all the community out there that is playing in bronze and silver and, you know, struggling to build their decks. It's a great way to get some extra income and extra DEC for helping you rent and win some ranked battles. So don't forget about Splinterforge. You don't have to put a lot of money into it to rent. Even if your hero's not equipped, you can earn some Forgium and convert that to DEC and build your deck and have fun while you're doing it.
And you can, what are the markets for Forgium? You got to come in here and buy Forge. Is it Forge? That's the one, right? And
yeah.
So
usually I go on Hive Engine if you want to purchase Forge.
So you need to trade something for Hive, and then you can trade your Hive for your swap Hive for your Forge. Man, yeah, I really do want to give this a kick at the can. Like even if it's put like 20-30 bucks in and then see what sort of profitability that garners with how much time commitment. It might be nice if we could like have another conversation, like a 30-minute conversation at some point in the future, do a video and you help me spend 50 bucks on like getting going on Splinterforge. Would you be willing to come back and do that with me?
Yeah. Let's just let's plan on it.
Okay. So then we'll offline we'll figure out a time and a day, or maybe it's an evening or something. If like whatever, like I can accommodate your schedule. I know this is kind of usually a work time for you, but let's send me a couple suggestions on when might work. I would say Thursday nights or Friday nights can often be good, but not this week because I've got my kid's birthday and a gym visit that I've got booked. But like even next week on like a Thursday or Friday, or maybe even Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night next week might be good for me if it's good for you. And just send me some suggestions and I'll try to accommodate. I'd love to just 30 minutes. We'll spend 50 bucks. That'd be great.
Yeah, love chatting with you. Open to conversations about anything, anytime you're available.
Thanks so much, and I really appreciate you guys. Check out his channel, Gathering the Magic on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're covering Splinterforge, you're covering Splinterlands, Golem Overlord, and just I'm probably accurate to say blockchain-based video games. Hey, as this grows, you'll grow, and you'll be doing different things over there too, right?
Yep. Right now, the main ones are well, recently it's been Golem Overlord and Splinterforge, but yep, also Splinterlands as well.
Okay, appreciate your time and thank you so much for coming by. And guys, everybody who's watching, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate your time and attention. Drop that like and leave comments below if they turn into videos. I am giving away a plot of land and somebody who leaves a comment might just win that plot of land. So have an amazing day. God bless.